Hey guys, it's RX here and welcome back to my channel. We are finally back with another keyboard review, and this one is something different. And ever heard of a bundled keyboard group buy? Now I'm excited to bring this review to you guys as this came from a fairly new vendor as well. Today we'll be reviewing the Hiexa V series, namely the V65 and V80. A quick disclaimer before the video starts that the board was sent for a review by Hiexa, but I wasn't paid to make the review and they just sent me the product freely for me to give my opinions and thoughts about their board. Now, I'll be placing all of their links down below for more details as the group buy is now live till June 7th. I've also made a full sound test on the board down below, so please do check out the links. So what is the V series? So this is a bundled keyboard group buy that lets you buy 65, 75, and 80% plus a numpad and 5 different switches of 100 pieces each, totaling up to 500 switches, all for the price of one. Now I know it sounds good to be true, so let's start with the pricing list. So yes, let's start with the pricing right away as there's like 4 versions to choose from in terms of the pricing. First would be the brush version, meaning the back weight is brush finished. Without the 500 switches, all 4 boards will cost you around $299. So this is like the base price. Second would be the brush version, and without the 500 switches, it will cost you around, it's with the 500 switches, it would cost you around $369. Next would be the mirror finish back weight. Without the 500 switches, it's at $329. And lastly, mirror finish with 500 switches, it would cost you around $399. Basically, the price varies depending on the back weight and if you get the 500 switches or not. So now that we had the pricing out of the way, let's quickly unbox and talk about the features of the Hiexa V series. So I asked for 2 boards, the V65 and the V80. So let's start with the V65. For the box, it comes in with this brown box, which I already opened for the sound test, but out of the box, it comes in with the usual. You need to build the board. So we're gonna talk this about later, but there's the top mount option screws, the silicone column for the plate gasket mounts, and the sock gasket for the PCB gasket mounts. Some foot pads, USB dongle, yes, it is a tri-mode PCB, and also, of course, the extra screws. And speaking of the PCB, again, it's tri-mode and it's using a 1.6mm non-flex cut. And get this, it supports VIA and QMK. And one key feature of their PCB, it's using a magnetic connector for the daughter board. Now for the plates, by default, it would come in on a palm plate and it has a non-flex cut. Now let's take a closer look at the V65. So I did ask for the Avocado colorway as this one features their glitter spray coated, so I also wanted to see the difference within the glitter spray coated and their normal anodized finish. Now taking a look at the back or the back weight, I also asked for the brush finished, and I must say I am liking the look at the brush finish weight, and one key factor to that would be on how simple they kept the back weight, making it look simple and clean, and the quality on point is on point for the finishing as well. I really like the brush finish that they had here. And speaking of the quality, finishing wise with the glitter spray coated, I'm actually a bit on the fence of this. It has a very rough and matte finish to it, and sometimes it can really be a fingerprint magnet and might get the board dirty, so if ever, just add care if you will be getting this color or on the finish. But other than that, it's still good. To be honest, I'm just not a fan of rough finish cases. So now let's take a closer look at the V80. So pretty much we're getting the same stuff needed to build the board as the V65. So for the case itself, I did ask for the midnight purple colorway. So this one has the anodized finish, and I asked for this specifically to compare it with the glitter spray coated. So for the 80%, it has a win key and a win keyless version. Finishing wise, it is much smoother to the touch and you can't really see any grainy finish to it. Just have that nice anodizing quality. And to be honest, taking a look at the back, we have here now the mirror finish, back weights, and same as the V65, the design is very minimal and simple. So now that we have covered most of the things that you need to know about the V series, let's now do the sound test. For the sound test, we'll be using 5 different switches that can be bundled on the package, and these 5 switches that included are also from 5 different switch manufacturers, which is really insane to think about. But first we have Celestial switches from KeyGeek. Spoiler alert, this is the best out of the 5 one. Second one, we have the Avocado linear switch. This is from JWK. Third, we have the Kona tactile switch from Haimu. Fourth, we have the Rosy tactile switch from Bison. And lastly, we have the Royal linear switch from Texi. So we'll be using them on the sound test while also doing all 3 mounting points and a foam versus no foam. And now I did made a full sound test on both boards, so please do check it out if you want to see the uncut version. Also, before the sound test, please do keep in mind that the sound and experience, it will always vary depending on your keyboard build, meaning to say it will sound and feel different depending on how you build the V series. So with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test on the V65 and V80 by Hiexa. And that was the sound test for the V65 and V80. Please do let me know on what you think about them on the comment section down below. And if you also made it up to this point of the video, I'd like to say thank you for staying. Let's now talk about my overall thoughts and opinion on the V series. So overall, starting with the quality. On both board, it's really superb. The build quality is good, and not to mention, I didn't notice any quality control issues on the prototype that they sent me. Though I like and suggest getting the anodized case versus the glitter spray coated finish, as I think it has more value. But again, this is my preference, and I'm not saying the glitter coated is bad, but it's just my opinion. It's just not my cup of tea in terms of finishing on a board. Now for the 3-in-1 mount, personally, you can't really hear a night and day difference in terms of the sound on the PCB and plate gasket mounts, as they almost sounds the same, and the only time or the only mount that separates the sound, I think it would be the top mount, as I find this more fuller in terms of the sound profile, may it be a linear or a tactile switch. Now feel wise, of course, top mount is the stiffest, PCB gasket might be the bounciest, and if you want a balance between the two, plate gasket is the way to go. It's not that stiff and not that bouncy or flexy when typing. Sound-wise, the board sounds really full and has character to it, and not to mention, it's not really that foam reliant as I expected it to be. The no foam wasn't that hollow, still sounds full, and the foam build sounds alright. It didn't sound foamy, especially on a tactile switch. Now lastly, for the pricing. Honestly, this is really worth it, and I do suggest considering the group buy. Like, for what you are paying for, you are really getting your money's worth, especially if you are a beginner or somewhat a seasoned enthusiast and just wants to experiment or try new boards. Now, of course, say that you don't need 4 keyboards. Well, no problem. You can just do a group buy within a group buy. So for example, you only want 80%, find someone that needs the 65%, 75, in a way you guys can cut and split the overall cost, making it like almost $100 per board. Not to mention, if you also want to add the 500 switches, it's still going to be worth it, as the 5 switches included are actually pretty good. And I'm actually impressed on the Celestial, Rosy, and Royal switches. But yeah, this is something worth to consider, and I'm really excited on what Hiexa as a vendor can bring in our hobby on their future projects. And that's it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the review on the V65 and V80, and I hope you find it helpful. If you do, please don't forget to like the video, and of course, we have more switches and more keyboards coming in, so please stay tuned on that. Again, please don't forget to like the video, share if you want, and of course, subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next review. Peace.